The night sky turned crimson across 17 different worlds simultaneously, and somehow it was humanity's fault. Captain Maya Chun stood on the observation deck of the galactic station Nexus Prime, watching as every star visible through the massive viewport pulsed with an angry red glow. Behind her, the emergency council chamber erupted in chaos, voices raised in 12 different languages, all demanding answers from the one species that shouldn't have been able to cause such cosmic mayhem. The humans did this, Ambassador Krell's voice boomed through his translation unit, his forearms gesturing wildly at the crimson sky. First contact was only 20 cycles ago, and now look what they've done to our universe. Maya turned slowly, her weathered face calm despite the storm brewing around her. At 63, she'd seen enough impossible things to know that the impossible often had surprisingly simple explanations. The scars on her left temple, souvenirs from humanity's first disastrous encounter with the Vorthan Collective, served as daily reminders that the universe rarely played fair. With respect, Ambassador, Maya said, her voice cutting through the din. Humanity barely understands how to travel between star systems without our ships falling apart. I seriously doubt we've mastered cosmic manipulation. The ethereal delegate, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline shell, pulsed with agitation. Your species exhibits quantum signatures unlike any we've encountered. The temporal displacement alone. Could we please speak in words that don't require 3 degrees in theoretical physics? Maya interrupted, earning a few nervous chuckles from the human delegation. Dr. Alex Reed, humanity's chief xenobiologist, stepped forward with a datapad in hand. His usually steady hands trembled slightly as he read the initial reports. The phenomenon began exactly 14 hours ago, originating from Sector 77 Alpha. That's uncomfortably close to the Kepler system, where you established your newest colony, Krell accused, his reptilian features twisting into what Maya had learned was the Zephyrian equivalent of a sneer. The implications hung heavy in the recycled air. New Terra, humanity's 5th colony, world, sat right in the heart of Sector 77 Alpha. 2 million human souls called that distant world home, and now it appeared they might have accidentally broken the universe. Maya felt the weight of 18 different species stares pressing down on her shoulders. Some looked angry, others fearful, but all of them expected answers she didn't have. The crimson light streaming through the viewport cast everything in shades of accusation and dread. Captain Chun, the station's eye announced in its perfectly neutral tone, incoming priority transmission from New Terra. The chamber fell silent. Maya's heart hammered against her ribs as she nodded for the AI to proceed. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the face of Governor Tom Blake, New Terra's colonial administrator. His usually cheerful demeanor had been replaced by something Maya had never seen in him before: raw, overwhelming terror. Maya, Tom's voice cracked across the light years. You need to get here now. The stars. They're not just changing color. They're singing. Every great bond starts with a single moment of courage. HFY Chronicle Stories is just beginning, and your support matters. If you love emotional sci-fi tales, forbidden connections, and stories that stay with you, hit subscribe. It's free, and it helps us bring more stories from the stars to you. The transmission cut to static, leaving the council chamber in stunned silence. Maya closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the familiar weight of impossible responsibility settling on her shoulders. When she opened them again, her gaze swept across the assembled delegates with the quiet confidence that had earned her command of humanity's first deep space diplomatic mission. I need a ship, she said simply. The fastest one you've got. Ambassador. Krell's laugh was harsh and grating. So you can flee to your precious colony and hide from what you've done? Maya met his four-eyed stare without flinching. So I can fix it. The journey to New Terra aboard the ethereal vessel Luminous Path should have taken 3 days. The ship's quantum-fold drive compressed spacetime like origami, turning light years into hours. But as they approached Sector 77 Alpha, reality itself seemed to resist their passage. "The quantum substrate is becoming increasingly unstable," reported Lin. The ship's navigator, a slender ethereal whose crystalline form flickered with nervous energy. "Each fold is taking 20% longer than calculated." Maya stood at the bridge's center, watching the star field ahead shimmer and distort. What should have been the familiar constellations around New Terra had become something else entirely. The stars pulsed in synchronized waves of deep red, and if she listened carefully through the ship's acoustic sensors, she could hear it, a low, haunting melody that seemed to resonate in her bones. Dr. Reed hunched over his instruments, his face pale with concentration. "I'm reading massive gravitational anomalies throughout the system. It's like something is rewriting the fundamental constants of physics." "Your species has a talent for breaking things," observed Zara, the ship's Vorthan security chief. Her insectoid features remained impassive, but Maya caught the hint of grudging respect in her compound eyes. The Vorthans valued strength above all else, and humanity's ability to accidentally destabilize cosmic forces apparently qualified. "We also have a talent for fixing them," Maya replied, though she wasn't entirely sure she believed it herself. The communication array crackled too. "Life," Governor Blake's voice emerging through waves of static. "Captain Chun, thank the void you're coming. The situation has evolved." Maya activated the response channel. "Tom, what's your status down there? Are the colonists safe?" "Define safe," came the grim reply. "Nobody's dead, if that's what you're asking." "But Maya, the changes aren't just affecting the stars. They're affecting us too." A chill ran down Maya's spine. "Explain." "Some of the colonists are exhibiting abilities. Real abilities. Jessica Park can see through walls now. Old Mike Henderson lifted a 2-ton harvester with his bare hands yesterday. And the children. Blake's voice faltered. "The children are dreaming in languages that don't exist yet." Dr. Reed's instruments began chirping frantically. "Captain, I'm detecting massive energy readings from the planet's surface. The biometric signatures are off the charts. Human life signs are showing quantum coherence patterns that should be impossible." Maya felt the pieces of the puzzle shifting in her mind, but the complete picture remained frustratingly out of reach. "Lin, how long until we reach New Terra?" "At current fold efficiency, approximately 6 hours. Too long." Maya turned to Zara. "Your people's military vessels, do they have faster drives?" The Vorthan's antennae twitched with what Maya had learned was amusement. "The fastest ship in the sector belongs to my clan. But Captain Chun, there is something you should know about this phenomenon." Maya waited, sensing the weight of revelation in Zara's tone. "We have encountered something similar before. 500 cycles ago, on the Rim worlds, an entire system began exhibiting impossible physics. Stars changed color, gravity fluctuated, time moved in circles. What caused it?" "Zara's compound." Eyes fixed on Maya with uncomfortable intensity. "Evolution. Forced evolution on a scale the universe had never seen. An entire species transcended their physical limitations in a single generation. What happened to them? They vanished, left behind empty worlds and transformed stars, and a message carved in quantum foam across their system's edge." Zara paused, her voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "It said, 'We go beyond to prepare the way.'" The bridge fell silent except for the soft humming of the ship's systems and that haunting stellar song growing stronger with each passing hour. Maya stared out at the red-shifted stars, her mind racing through the implications. If humanity was somehow triggering an evolutionary leap, not just for themselves, but for reality itself, then the accusations might be more accurate than anyone had realized. But instead of cosmic vandalism, they might be witnessing cosmic birth. Set course for the Vorthan fleet, Maya commanded. And send a message to Nexus Prime. Tell them we need every xenobiologist, quantum physicist, and theoretical philosopher they can spare. What should I tell them about the nature of the emergency? Lynn asked. Maya looked once more at the singing stars. Tell them humanity might be growing up. The Vorthan battlecruiser Stormbreaker cut through folded space like a blade through silk, its exotic matter drive pushing the boundaries of what their technology could achieve. Maya stood in the ship's war room, surrounded by holographic displays showing New Terra's impossible transformation. Commander Thane, the ship's captain, studied the data with the calculating precision of a career military officer. His species' reputation for tactical brilliance was well-deserved, and Maya could see him processing variables and possibilities at superhuman speed. Your colony world is generating energy signatures comparable to a small star, he reported, his mandibles clicking with agitation. Whatever is happening down there, it's accelerating. Dr. Reed's voice carried a mixture of excitement and terror as he read from his latest scans. The quantum field fluctuations are increasing exponentially. At this rate, the entire system will reach critical resonance within 18 hours. And then what? Maya asked, though she suspected she didn't want to hear the answer. Then the changes become permanent, Zara interjected from her position at the tactical console. Based on our historical records, the affected system will either transcend completely or collapse into quantum foam. Maya felt the familiar weight of impossible decisions settling on her shoulders. 2 million human lives hung in the balance, not to mention the potential cosmic consequences of either outcome. But as she studied the swirling red patterns of the transformed stars, a different thought occurred to her. What if we're looking at this backwards? She said slowly. What if the universe isn't breaking? What if it's trying to tell us something? Commander Thane's compound eyes focused on her with laser intensity. Explain. Maya moved to the central display, her fingers dancing across the holographic controls to bring up the stellar song patterns. The audio waves formed complex mathematical structures, beautiful and alien in their precision. Every species that's achieved interstellar travel has had to overcome the same basic limitations: physics, biology, consciousness itself. But what if those limitations aren't natural law? What if they're more like ... training wheels? Dr. Reed's eyes widened as he followed her logic. You're suggesting that achieving true spacefaring capability triggers some kind of universal graduation ceremony? Look at the pattern, Maya said, highlighting the quantum signatures streaming from New Terra. It's not random chaos. It's organized, purposeful, like the universe is running a diagnostic on human consciousness. The ship shuddered as they dropped out of fold space, New Terra appearing in the main viewport like a jewel wrapped in impossible light. The planet's surface glowed with aurora-like patterns that shifted and danced in perfect synchronization with the stellar song. Captain Chun, came Governor Blake's voice over the communication array, stronger now without the interference of folded space. You need to see what the children have been drawing. The main display flickered to life, showing dozens of crayon sketches created by the colony's youngest residents. Each drawing depicted the same scene: humans standing among the stars, not as visitors but as gardeners, tending to something vast and luminous that stretched between the galaxies. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Tom, how long have they been drawing these? Since the changes started. But Maya, that's not the strangest part. They're all drawing in perfect detail, down to star positions and quantum field equations they couldn't possibly understand. Commander Thane studied the drawings with the intense focus of a predator evaluating prey. This suggests direct quantum entanglement between developing human consciousness and the universal substrate. Your species is receiving information downloads. From what? From what you're becoming, Zara said quietly. The Rim World species left similar markers. Children's drawings, adult dreams, mathematical proofs appearing in people's minds fully formed. The universe doesn't just evolve species randomly, Captain Chun. It prepares them. Maya stared at the planet below, watching the aurora patterns. Pulse in rhythm with her own heartbeat. The implications were staggering. If humanity was being prepared for something, then the cosmic disruption wasn't an accident or a malfunction. It was an invitation. Get me a direct line to every colony ship, research station, and diplomatic vessel in human space, she commanded. If we're about to take the next step in human evolution, our people deserve to know what's coming. And the Galactic Council? Thane asked. They will demand answers, Maya smiled grimly. Tell them they're about to get more answers than they bargained for. And Commander? Prepare for the possibility that after today, the universe might have some new neighbors. The stellar song grew stronger, and somewhere in its haunting melody, Maya thought she could hear the sound of doors opening across eternity. The emergency session of the Galactic Council, convened as New Terra's transformation, reached its crescendo. Representatives from 47 species gathered in Nexus Prime's Great Assembly Hall, watching in real time as humanity teetered on the edge of something unprecedented. Maya stood at the center of the chamber, no longer just defending her species, but serving as their voice in what might be their final hours as baseline humans. The holographic displays surrounding her showed the impossible. Every human settlement across known space was beginning to exhibit the same quantum signatures as New Terra. The phenomenon is spreading, announced Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the Council's chief xenobiologist, her normally steady voice tight with controlled panic. Earth itself is beginning to show preliminary resonance patterns. Ambassador Krell's forearms trembled as he gestured at the data streams. 12 billion humans, all connected to this cosmic infection. They must be stopped before they contaminate the entire galaxy. Contaminate? Maya's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. Is that what you call it when a species grows beyond the limitations that have held them back for millennia? The ethereal delegate pulsed with agitation. Captain Chun, you speak of growth, but we observe fundamental violations of physical law. Your species is rewriting reality to suit their needs. Maya looked around the chamber at faces or their equivalent, filled with fear, anger, and something she was beginning to recognize as envy. Maybe that's exactly what we're supposed to do. She activated her personal communication device, and Governor Blake's voice filled the assembly hall. The static was gone now, replaced by an odd harmonic quality that made his words seem to resonate in multiple dimensions. Maya, the final phase has begun, the colonists. We're all connected now. I can feel every human mind in the settlement, and through them, I can sense our people on distant worlds. We're becoming something new, but we're still us. Tom, describe what you're experiencing. Blake's laugh carried notes of wonder and terror in equal measure. Imagine suddenly being able to see colors that don't have names, or understanding mathematics that hasn't been invented yet. The children stopped drawing pictures and started manipulating quantum fields with their thoughts. Old Mike Henderson isn't just strong anymore, he's restructuring matter at the molecular level. The chamber erupted in alarmed chatter, but Maya pressed on. Are you in control of these abilities? More than control, Blake replied. Understanding. Maya, we can see what's happening now. The universe isn't random. It's not even natural, not in the way we thought. It's been got cultivated, shaped by species that came before us, each one adding their own touch to the cosmic garden. Dr. Reed's voice joined the transmission from New Terra. Captain, I've been analyzing the quantum field interactions. The pattern isn't just affecting humans, it's creating resonance cascades in nearby space. Other species are beginning to show preliminary evolution markers. This revelation sent shockwaves through the assembly. Species that had remained static for millions of years were suddenly exhibiting signs of quantum coherence. The Vorthan's tactical calculations were becoming intuitive rather than analytical. The ethereal's energy forms were gaining new spectral frequencies. Even the rock-like granite collective was showing crystalline growth patterns that defied their known biology. You see, Maya addressed the council with growing confidence. This isn't about human supremacy. It's about universal growth. We're not breaking anything. We're helping to fix something that's been broken for far too long. Commander Thane stood from his position in the Vorthan delegation. Captain Chun speaks truth. My tactical analysis indicates that galactic civilization has been artificially stagnant for the past 50,000 cycles. No new technologies, no evolutionary leaps, no expansion beyond our current borders. As if something was holding us back. Or keeping us safe, whispered the crystalline collective representative, its voice like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. Safe until we were ready. Maya felt the pieces finally clicking into place. The rim world species that vanished, they didn't disappear, they graduated. And they've been waiting for the rest of us to catch up. The stellar song that had been broadcasting from New Terra suddenly changed, becoming richer and more complex. New harmonies joined the melody voices that weren't human, weren't even from current galactic civilization. They were older, wiser, and infinitely welcoming. The children are receiving new images, Blake reported, his voice now carrying harmonics that resonated through the quantum foam itself. They're drawing maps now. Star charts showing pathways between galaxies, directions to civilizations we never knew existed. Maya looked around the chamber one final time, seeing fear gradually being replaced by wonder and possibility. The question isn't whether humanity caused this. The question is whether we're brave enough to see where it leads. Ambassador Krell's hostile posture gradually relaxed. And if this path leads to transcendence beyond our current existence? Maya smiled. Then we'd better make sure we're all ready to take that step together. The transformation completed itself at the moment when Earth's moon turned the same deep crimson as the distant stars. Across 47 worlds, representatives of galactic civilization felt the quantum shift as reality rewrote itself into something larger, more purposeful, and infinitely more connected. Maya stood on the observation deck of Nexus Prime, but she was also standing on New Terra's surface, walking through the corridors of a Vorthan battlecruiser and floating in the crystalline matrices of an ethereal meditation chamber. The boundaries between individual consciousness had become suggestions rather than walls. This is what they meant by growing up, she whispered, her voice carrying across light years to reach every connected mind in the galaxy. Through her expanded awareness, she could perceive the vast intelligence that had been guiding galactic development for eons. Not a single entity, but a collective of species that had achieved transcendence and chosen to remain as shepherds for those still climbing toward enlightenment. Welcome, came a voice that spoke in harmonies of pure understanding. You have taken the first step beyond the nursery of normal space. Maya found herself communicating not in words, but in concepts that flowed like liquid light between minds. The rim world species, you were our teachers all along. We were you in our time. As you will be teachers for those who come after. This is the way of cosmic growth, each generation lifting the next higher than they themselves achieved. Around her, she could feel her fellow humans processing the transformation. Governor Blake's consciousness had expanded to encompass the entire New Terra colony, but he remained fundamentally himself still concerned about crop rotations and municipal water supplies, just now able to ensure them through direct manipulation of molecular processes. Dr. Reed was experiencing revelations about xenobiology that would have taken centuries to discover through conventional research. The genetic patterns of life itself were revealed as a universal language, with each species contributing unique verses to an ever-expanding poem of existence. But it wasn't just humans who were changing. Ambassador Krell's 4 arms had become conduits for temporal energy, allowing him to perceive past and future as easily as present. The ethereal delegates were discovering new spectrums of existence beyond their energy-based forms. Even the solid granite collective was learning to phase between states of matter, like thoughts shifting between ideas. The galaxy has been held in stasis for your protection, the transcendent voices explained. Physical laws enforced more rigidly than necessary. Evolutionary pressure artificially dampened. Consciousness expansion carefully controlled. But you have reached the threshold where such restrictions become limitations rather than safeguards. Maya understood now why the stars had changed color. They weren't breaking, they were awakening. Each sun was a node in a vast network of intelligence that spanned not just galaxies but dimensions of existence she couldn't have imagined as a merely human consciousness. What happens next? She asked. You choose, came the reply. Remain in this galaxy as gardeners for emerging species, or venture beyond to explore realms where physics' art and consciousness shapes reality through will alone. There is no wrong choice, only different paths of growth. Maya felt the collective consciousness of galactic civilization processing this ultimate question. Some species were content to remain as shepherds, finding joy in nurturing new forms of life toward transcendence. Others yearned to explore the infinite possibilities that lay beyond the borders of known space. But as she considered the options, Maya realized that humanity had already made their choice in the most human way possible. They were going to try to do both. We'll establish way stations, she projected to the assembled minds. Some of us will venture into the unknown, while others remain to guide new species toward transcendence. And will maintain connections across whatever distances separate us, ensuring that no one travels into the dark alone. The response from the transcendent teachers carried notes of amused affection. This is why your species was chosen to trigger the awakening. Only humans would look at the infinite possibilities of cosmic transcendence and ask how they could share it with everyone else. As the crimson light of the transformed stars settled into new patterns of gold and silver, Maya felt the future unfurling before galactic civilization, like a flower opening to embrace the sun. The universe was vast and full of wonders they had never imagined, but it was no longer empty or cold. Somewhere among the stars, new voices were already singing species that would one day join the great conversation of consciousness that spanned creation itself. And when they were ready, there would be teachers waiting to welcome them home. The stars had changed color, because it was time for everyone to see them clearly at last. And Earth wasn't to blame for the transformation, it was to be thanked for having the courage to take the first step beyond the comfortable cage of limited existence. In the end, that was the most human thing of all, turning cosmic accident into cosmic gift, and making sure everyone was invited to the celebration.